The gas that heats your home tonight may not exist by the end of this week. A single missile strike in the Persian Gulf has just set in motion a chain of events that no Western government is prepared to explain to you. Iran has launched a direct strike on a Qatari liquefied natural gas facility by one of the largest on the planet, and President Trump has issued a public warning against further attacks. What you are not being told is that this is not a miscalculation. This is a signal. Before this video is over, I will show you a technical detail about the targeted facility that changes everything you think you know about this strike. I will walk you through a historical empire parallel that every analyst in Washington is quietly referencing behind closed doors. And I will show you exactly how this single event translates into direct financial consequences for your household within 90 days. If you leave this video before the 7-minute mark, you will miss the one data point that connects this strike to every major energy crisis of the last 50 years. That connection is what no mainstream outlet has reported. That connection is what I'm going to show you now. If you want analysis that tracks what empires miss before they fall, subscribe now. This channel covers the signals that surface 6 months before the headlines do. The targeted facility is the Ras Laffan Industrial City complex in northern Qatar, the processing and export hub for the North Field, which holds the single largest natural gas reservoir on Earth. According to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, Qatar supplies approximately 20% of global LNG exports, and the North Field alone accounts for roughly 77% of Qatar's total gas output. Satellite imagery reviewed by open-source analysts at the Middlebury Institute confirms structural damage to at least one processing train in the northern sector of the complex. SIPRI's 2024 Energy Security Assessment flagged Ras Laffan explicitly as a Tier 1 critical infrastructure node, meaning a strike here does not just disrupt supply. It triggers automatic contract default clauses across 47 long-term LNG purchase agreements worldwide. The missiles used in this strike bear the signature specifications of Iran's Fateh-2 hypersonic glide vehicle, a system with a reported range of 1,400 kilometers, terminal velocity exceeding Mach 13, and a warhead class capable of penetrating reinforced industrial concrete. RAND Corporation's 2023 Iran Strike Capability Assessment warned specifically that Ras Laffan was within confirmed Fateh-2 range with zero intercept probability under current Gulf defense architecture. Trump's warning, issued via Truth Social and subsequently confirmed by the State Department, stopped short of specifying a military response threshold. That ambiguity is not weakness. That ambiguity is the most dangerous diplomatic condition in modern crisis management. But here's what every major outlet completely missed. As of this morning, LNG spot prices in the Asian market have spiked 34% in a single trading session. That is not a reaction to confirmed supply disruption. That is markets pricing in the possibility that this strike is the first of a coordinated sequence, not a standalone action. Iran has not claimed responsibility through official channels. That silence is operationally deliberate. When a state actor strikes and does not claim credit, it is because they intend to strike again and do not want to trigger the international legal threshold that requires a formal allied response. Qatar has activated Article 4 consultations with the United States under the terms of the Defense Cooperation Agreement signed in 2021. The U.S. Al Udeid Air Base, the largest American military installation in the Middle East, hosting approximately 10,000 personnel in the forward headquarters of CENTCOM, sits 60 kilometers from the targeted facility. Israel's Air Force has moved 2 additional F-35I squadrons to readiness posture at Nevatim Air Base, according to flight tracking data reviewed by open-source analysts at Aurora Intel. That repositioning was not announced, it was detected. Right now, I want to ask you a direct question, and I want your answer in the comments below. Do you believe Iran's next move will be a second strike on Gulf infrastructure, or a direct provocation against U.S. military assets in the region? Post 1 or 2 below. I'm tracking this in real time, and I will address the dominant answer in the follow-up video. Now let me show you where I have seen this exact pattern before. In 1973, the Arab oil embargo did not begin with a pipeline. It began with a war no Western government believed would escalate, and within 6 weeks, fuel lines stretched around city blocks from London to Los Angeles. The Ottoman Empire's final decade was defined not by a single military defeat, but by the sequential loss of its resource extraction infrastructure. The ports, the pipelines, the refineries that kept the economy solvent while the empire projected military strength it could no longer afford. When those nodes fell, the currency collapsed within 18 months, and the empire that had stood for 6 centuries was functionally over in 3 years. What we are watching now carries the same structural fingerprint. A militarily aggressive state strikes the resource infrastructure of a neutral ally of its primary adversary, not to win a war, but to demonstrate that the adversary cannot protect what it depends on. The signal is the same, only the names have changed. Here's what this means for you, specifically. Europe imports approximately 15% of its LNG from Qatar, and the United Kingdom alone signed a 27-year purchase agreement with Qatar Energy in 2023, the largest in British energy history. If Ras Laffan's output is reduced by even 30% for 60 days, the mathematical consequence is a winter heating cost increase of between $400 and $900 per British household, according to modeling published by the Oxford Institute for Energy Studies. Your energy bill is directly tied to a gas plant that was struck by a hypersonic missile this morning. For American viewers, the indirect exposure runs through the pension funds and sovereign wealth portfolios that hold positions in LNG futures and Gulf energy infrastructure. The top 15 U.S. public pension funds hold a combined $340 billion in energy-linked assets, according to the Public Plans Data Project. This is not abstract. The people in your life who are not watching this video right now, your parents, your siblings, your colleagues, they are going to feel this in their bills, their retirement accounts, and their fuel costs before any news anchor explains to them why. If you think they need to understand what is actually happening before it lands on their doorstep, now is the moment to share this with them. There's one more development that has not appeared in any English language outlet as of this recording. Iranian naval assets, specifically 3 Kilo-class submarines operating from Bandar Abbas, have altered their patrol patterns in the Strait of Hormuz over the last 72 hours, according to maritime tracking data reviewed by 2 independent analysts. The Strait of Hormuz handles approximately 21 million barrels of oil per day, roughly 21% of global petroleum consumption. If those submarines are repositioning for a choke point interdiction posture, the energy crisis we are discussing right now will look minor within 2 weeks. That is the question I'm going to answer in the next video, and if you're not subscribed, you will miss it when it drops. Here's the second question I want you to answer below. Do you believe the United States will conduct a military response against Iranian territory within the next 30 days? Yes or no? And tell me what makes you certain. The comment section on this video is becoming one of the most analytically sharp I have seen on this topic anywhere online, and I want your read on this. The next video is already in production. It is titled, Hormuz Shutdown, What Happens to the World Economy in 72 Hours. Watch that one immediately after this. You opened this video because something felt wrong. A gas plant on the other side of the world was hit by a missile, and some part of you understood, before any anchor told you, that this was not isolated. You were right. The analysis in this channel exists because the gap between what is happening and what is being reported keeps widening. If this gave you a clearer picture than anything you saw on television today, subscribe. And help the algorithm surface this to the people who need it before it is too late. If this analysis served you, hit like. It costs you nothing, and it means this reaches someone who is flying completely blind right now. The next video, Hormuz Shutdown, What Happens to the World Economy in 72 Hours, is linked in the description. Watch it now. The analysis presented in this video is based on publicly available information and represents editorial opinion. Sources are linked in the description.